Yes guys, welcome back to another video. Welcome to the George Benson Football Channel. Mauricio Pochettino is the new Chelsea manager. The wait is over. We can stop talking about Julian Nagelsmann ball. We can stop talking about why we're gutted that both Nagelsmann and Enrique, Zidane's, Mourinho's, Conte's, big managers, Ancelotti's. It doesn't matter anymore. Chelsea have got Mauricio Pochettino, and I'm going to tell you today the positives behind this. And I know I said I wasn't really keen on him because I did think there were better options, but guess what? I'm a Chelsea fan. I want this club to succeed, and no matter who we employ, it is my duty as a fan who loves this club more than anything to put my personal bias to one side and support what I actually believe is a well thought out decision, despite it not being my number one or even number two choice. So I wish Mauricio Pochettino all the best. I think he's going to need a lot of luck. This is a job where over the course of time we have seen so many great, brilliant, elite level football managers come and go, and now managers who come into Chelsea Football Club have not only got to work with the expectations that all of the predecessors have put, because we've been successful, we still want to be successful. You've also got to work with new owners, a brand new sporting team at Chelsea Football Club who are still getting to terms with the club, but we still want success. So Mauricio, best of luck to you. This is going to be very difficult, but I do believe Chelsea as an entity have the assets available to make this happen in a successful way. When we focus less on, again, I've said about Pochettino being a former Spurs manager, I don't want to be that surface layer here on this channel. I want to look into the positives. I want to work with what we've got. And I do believe that Pochettino, if we look at the two biggest jobs he's done in his career at Tottenham and at PSG, we've got to go before that at Southampton, for example. What Pochettino was doing at Southampton as at that point, a young football manager, was developing an identity for himself. People use the word philosophy in football, and the philosophy explains what it is that makes a manager a certain manager, makes a club a certain club, and a team play a certain way. But in order to establish philosophy, you've got to get rid of old habits that maybe don't serve you well. Pochettino, in not only his playing days, but his early managerial days, was a manager who wanted to be rigid and believed that he had a vision as to how football should be played, how to get the best out of players, how to work with players to build a successful team. But like any good sportsman, you learn on the job, you live and you learn, and sometimes you realise that being rigid in those beliefs and ideas isn't the way forward. And Pochettino, during those early phases, allowed himself to become more flexible. Then when you work at a club like Tottenham, I think the job he did at Tottenham, some people say he underachieved because it's the best Tottenham team that they've had in the last 25 years and he didn't win them anything. Some say he overachieved because should Spurs really be finishing back-to-back top fours? There's a debate out there. The fact of the matter is, Chelsea aren't Tottenham. Chelsea are used to winning things. Chelsea expect to win things, but at the same time, we have also made that a philosophy, made that an identity where it was win at all costs, we will fire you if you don't, and we will praise you and back you if you do. And at Spurs, Daniel Levy has kind of just been letting that club tick, 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 built a new stadium, but in order for things to be considered a success, if you spend all that money, on the pitch results matter. So I think at Spurs, it is open to interpretation as to whether or not Pochettino did a great job. At PSG, yes, of course you're going to win the French league, mate. You're probably going to win the French Cup too. He did that, and he also, tentatively I'd say, managed the egos of three of the biggest names on the planet, Neymar, Messi, and Mbappe. And I think the time at PSG may not have been deemed a success because with that kind of front line, you've got to be winning Champions Leagues. But at the same time, he still won trophies, and to work with those kind of players of that quality and with those size egos, whether it was a success when you're there or not, it means that you've got the experience. So when you're working for Tottenham and you take them what many would consider to be as far as they could go, and then you get another massive club like PSG, Chelsea can be sure that Pochettino has the experience of working at a massive club, has the experience of working and building, developing a project, and Chelsea is now the biggest club that Mauricio Pochettino has been at in his career. That is facts. PSG, they might have all the money in the world, but at the same time, they don't have the European pedigree to show for it. So now what Mauricio Pochettino's done is he's gone like this. The ladder of Pochettino's career now has what could potentially be a dynasty-defining culmination. Massive statement to make, I know, and you lot might be thinking, Benson, how can you go from saying you don't want Pochettino to now bringing up the fact that he could build a dynasty at Chelsea Football Club? Hear me out here. There's a story of Bielsa as a player when he was at Espanyol. Marcelo Bielsa is a person who's had a big impact on Mauricio Pochettino's life. Bielsa comes in whilst Pochettino's at Espanyol, makes him cry, tells him that he's too much in his comfort zone and should still be doing better, despite Pochettino rapidly becoming one of La Liga's best centre-backs, which led to him eventually playing in multiple World Cups for Argentina. Decent defender, Mauricio Pochettino. What this made Pochettino learn from a young age, before he even got into management, is that being in your comfort zone, not being flexible with your progression and your development, is how you stagnate. Not only as a player, but this translates into the mentality as a manager. So when someone makes you cry when you already think you're pretty good, that upgrades your ceiling. Think about how many players Chelsea have in this squad who, because they've been paid so much money, because Chelsea Football Club have spent so much on them, even someone like Chukwuemeka is in this conversation. 20 million to Aston Villa, people thought we were nuts. You've got your Noni Madueke's, 35 mil, Mudryk, 60 million or whatever it was. These kind of players, under a manager like Pochettino, who's been through it as a player, but has also developed upon this in his managerial style, these players will develop so well under Mauricio Pochettino. Chelsea have got a lot to look forward to in how Pochettino as a person can implement this into player development. The young players at Chelsea will be given a chance. We've been led to believe over the course of the past 48 hours that Pochettino believes before the rebuild there should be a focus on the homegrown talent at Chelsea. Excellent. I think this could be a great point to see Mason Mount stay at Chelsea Football Club. Look at what Pochettino did with Christian Eriksen. Christian Eriksen was at his very best as a footballer, arguably one of the best midfielders in the Premier League under Mauricio Pochettino. And I can absolutely see Mason Mount being a similar kind of player with a similar kind of output with Pochettino in charge. There's also the beauty of the Argentinian connection to Enzo Fernandez. Could Chelsea now be even more in the market for Alexis McAllister? What could this be? Could it be a midfield three of Mount, McAllister, Enzo at Chelsea next season? Is there a way that that works? Or do we still need Declan Rice? And great news, Pochettino is a huge admirer of Declan Rice. So there are a lot of positives here. And I think what Pochettino is good at is, because he understands that at a football club, you're not always going to be able to do everything your way. Philosophies need to be flexible, not only from the people above you in the hierarchy, owners, whatever, sporting directors, but also with players too. With the squad that we have, Pochettino will have to do a reshuffle. There will need to do a rebuild. Midfielder rebuild, check it out. Attacker rebuild, check it out. These videos will be up on the channel now as to how I think Chelsea need to be rebuilt. And Pochettino knows that in football today, things are changing and adapting all of the time. And as much as I didn't want Pochettino initially when Chelsea had the whole pot of managers available to us, who do we want? Chelsea are in a luxurious position where we can talk to the biggest managers in the world. Now I look at what Pochettino is good for, and I actually really think that this is a smart appointment. If we remove all of this, he used to manage Spurs and he didn't win anything there, how can we expect him to... Chelsea and Tottenham are totally different calibers of clubs, okay? If you take Tottenham close, you can take Chelsea to the Holy Grails. You can win things with Chelsea. So I'm deciding to look at this now from a totally different angle. Yes, he didn't win things at Spurs, but there were a lot of tangible positives that even people like me that despise that football club, I can sit here and say, there were some big positives at Tottenham that I would love to see here at Chelsea. Develop these young players and manage their egos, manage the personalities, the way that Pochettino was managed and influenced by the Bielsas of this world. And I'm also glad that as much as he might have learned from Marcelo Bielsa, he didn't learn and take everything and just try and make himself a carbon copy of him, because, well, Bielsa was sacked from Leeds United. So if that was what we were expecting, thank goodness Pochettino has created, I guess you could say, his own path in football with his own style and identity. I think Chelsea will be playing some attractive football, and I'm not gonna lie, the more this video has gone on, I'm genuinely quite excited about this, and I do not care if people come at me saying you're just a flip-flop, you didn't want him. Correct, I absolutely did, and I've announced that many times in this video, but when I look at all of the other managers that Chelsea could have available, based on Nagelsmann and Enrique not being available for whatever reasons, I think Pochettino is a good balance between being what the owners want, in the sense of Pochettino is aware that everyone's kind of got to be made happy, and that should be the goal, to please everybody, please the owners, please the players, please the staff, everyone's important, blah, blah, blah. But at the same time, I think Pochettino is experienced enough that he's not just going to be the, yes sir, three bags full sir manager. I messed that one up, didn't I? Pochettino's the new Chelsea manager. I am tentatively excited about it. Advice now more than, let me stand up quickly. Advice now more than anything else. You can dislike the fact that Pochettino didn't win anything at Tottenham, maybe doesn't have that elite level winning mentality that we might have wanted from a coach, or you're just simply pissed off that he managed Spurs and you don't want him to be anywhere near Chelsea as a result of that. Let's just allow ourselves to be tentatively excited, okay? Let's not believe that we're going to challenge for the Premier League next season. I don't think that is realistic. But what I do think is Pochettino, if given time, if given backing, and if we manage to reshuffle this squad this summer and get rid of a load of dead wood, there could definitely be success here with Pochettino at Chelsea. Just give it a bit of time, and if we get this one wrong, this is the fact now. When I say give a bit of time, I know it's hard because I wanted Potter gone so soon. If we get this one wrong, the repercussions for Chelsea in the future, I think we could be finished as a big club. I really think this is now do or die. And I think Pochettino can do it. Will he do it? Let's wait and see. That is the beauty of supporting a football club, following them through thick and thin. Thoughts in the comments, hit the like button if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you are new. Come on, you Blues.